guys, it's time for my Smackdown review, and I'm going to be reviewing the Smackdown that many people are boycotting, and the result is, of course, people to send death threats to Vince McMahon and Randy Orton about. Now that's taking it a bit too far. You might say, what? No one's sending death threats. But if you actually go on like Twitter and stuff and see the ridiculous things that some people have been like sending to like Randy Orton and stuff, and it's like, hello, it's just, you know, it's sports entertainment. Okay, yes, obviously a lot of people were unhappy about it. They thought it was unfair on Christian, but there's no need to go sending like death threats to a wrestler about it. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, yes, maybe Randy Orton had something to do with it, but I'm pretty sure it's not completely his fault. He didn't go to Vince McMahon and say, I hate Christian, make me the champion. But, you know, whatever, some people just seriously need to get a life and know when to stop. But yeah, anyway, so I know a lot of people said that they weren't going to watch the show because they obviously were so irate that Christian had lost the title so soon after winning it. But I am not one of those people. I thought I'm going to still watch it anyway, obviously, because I need to review it for you guys. But I thought, well, to be honest, if we just like all stop watching it, it's just going to be a bit stupid, so that's probably not really going to change anything, just like people not watching it. So yeah, anyway, on with the show. To start the show, obviously Christian comes out, and to be fair, I thought he should have got, well, not should have got, I thought he would have got more of a reaction from the crowd, because, I don't know, when he first came out, they seemed to be cheering quite a lot, but, like, the whole time that he was kind of, like, talking, he just, even when he was, like, mentioning Edge and mentioning it, like, all that kind of stuff, it didn't really get the kind of reaction that I thought he was going to get, because obviously, yeah, the crowd went completely mad when he actually won the title at Extreme Rules, but they just didn't seem to be as loud as I thought they were going to be, and sometimes, yeah, like I said, during when he was actually talking, like, there was no kind of response, and it was a bit quiet, and it was a bit like, okay, this is a bit awkward now. But anyway, so, yeah, so he comes out, and he says, you know, he's, you know, so happy to finally be champion. It's the best feeling in the world, and he thanks Edge, and he thanks, like, the peeps and all that. So, yeah, and then Mark Henry comes out, because, you know, Mark Henry's, you know, now the top heel on SmackDown, not. But, yeah, said that, you know, sorry to rain on Christian's parade, but he's, you know, deserves to be, like, the first, like, challenger to, like, Christian's title, and he says that Edge isn't around to protect Christian anymore. Then the Great Khali comes out, and whatever his brother's called, his name just escaped my mind, said that Khali feels that he should be the number one contender, and he's making a challenge to Christian. But then Randy Orton comes out, obviously to amazing reaction from the crowd. So everybody likes Orton at the start of the show, and says that he wants to be considered challenger. So then Teddy Long comes out and makes the crowd vote for who should be the number one contender. So obviously, you know, he says each wrestler's name, and whoever gets the loudest reaction is going to be the number one contender. So obviously, Randy Orton gets a vote. So then they said that it's going to be a title match later on between obviously Randy Orton and Christian. So yeah, basically, WWE are probably going to be saying, you know, oh, it was like the people actually chose Randy Orton to be the champion, so, you know, they gave them, them, you know, the chance to vote for somebody else. But to be fair, like, picking, like, Mark Henry and Great Khali as, like, the other choices is not exactly fair. I mean, if they'd have had, like, another person, I can't even, because, like I said, on SmackDown, it's so weak that, you know, the main event kind of scene now, there's nobody really there who's a big draw, apart from Randy Orton. If they'd have had another big guy, like, I don't know, oh, for whatever reason, just say John Cena or whatever, it might have been, like, a different story. It would have been, like, you know, a bit closer, but because it was obviously Khali and Mark Henry, who, like, nobody really cares about, it was obvious that they were going to pick Randy Orton, so kind of unfair voting system there, to be fair. I wonder if they probably didn't even have, like, a match planned between, like, the other guys. I wonder what would happen, though, if they, say, for example, they had voted for, like, Khali, for whatever reason. Do you reckon they actually would have gone through with it and made Khali the champion, or do you think it's only because it's Randy Orton? I know it never would have happened in a million years, because Randy Orton by far is obviously going to be the one that gets the extra vote. But I was just thinking, what would have actually happened if another of the wrestlers had actually got, you know, the vote, or would they have not made a title match for that night? Would they have said that they were going to save it and change the storyline? It's just something to think about, really, because I like to think about these really random things. So yeah, anyway, the first match is Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan. Sheamus seems to be improving. He's looking more, like, kind of dominant now. I didn't really watch that much of him, like, when he was, like, in his whole, like, King Sheamus kind of role, when he was on his major losing streak. I suppose I didn't really see a lot of him then, but he seems to have improved a lot now, and the finish, well, Daniel Bryan locks on the Lavelle lock, but Sheamus gets to the ropes, and he rolls to the outside, and Daniel Bryan goes to, like, dive through the ring ropes, but Sheamus hits him with, like, a bro kick, which looks really nice, and then he does, like, a proper bro kick in the ring for the win. So obviously Sheamus wins that match. So yeah, he seems to be, you know, doing pretty well for himself. I hope they do kind of build up more. They really need to build up more people for SmackDown. That's the only problem I have with it now. It's it's great for like the mid card. You know, they've got a lot of people, talent on there. But for the actual main event title scene, there's just nobody there. So I don't know who's actually going to face Randy Orton for the title, because if it ends up being like Randy Orton versus Mark Henry, I think they're going to like gouge my eyes out. But you know, Cody Rhodes comes out, he's obviously still going on with this whole heel thing, saying how everybody else is ugly and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know who his next kind of feud is going to be with now that Rey Mysterio has moved on to Raw. But he, seems to be building character as well. So yeah, so I have to say SmackDown's really good for like the mid-card. Raw's definitely got the better like main event kind of scene. I say that, to be fair, it's, you know, John Cena. But at least he seems to be getting like decent matches, and you can think of people for him to face, but I just can't really think of anyone apart from like Christian for like Randy Orton to actually face. Big Show is in the match next against Ezekiel Jackson. Why is it, when like Ezekiel Jackson came out, he's honestly wearing his trunks, all the rest of Core were wearing their Core t-shirts. He comes out with just his trunks on, and he had his t-shirt tucked inside his trunks. Who does that? I mean, why would you tuck a t-shirt inside your trunks? That's just the most stupid thing ever. But anyway, so yeah, Kane and the Core are at ringside. The Core attack Kane, and obviously that distracts Big Show, so he takes out the Core, and Ezekiel Jackson wins with like a clothesline, I think it was, and I was like, what? But Ezekiel Jackson seems to be getting like more popular, to be fair, obviously because he's the one who's kind of like breaking away from like the Core, so he seems to be becoming popular. There's women's matches, Layla versus Alicia Fox. Alicia Fox, I've forgotten about her. I haven't seen her like on any show for absolutely ages. But like, you know, Layla wins. She's obviously quite popular now, but she's obviously away from like Michelle McCool and all that, so she seems to be getting like some popularity again. So then Karma comes out, because I was thinking, why is she on here? But then she obviously turned up after the draft, and so she hasn't really technically been drafted to a show yet. So I guess she's kind of like floating between the shows at the moment. I laughed when Alicia Fox tried to attack her and like kicked her in the back, and Karma's just like, what was that? So that was quite amusing. And so then she takes her out for the Implant Buster 2. So I wonder how long it's going to be until she actually meets someone who can actually face her one-on-one. I guess it's not going to be until someone like Beth Phoenix or possibly like Natalia. I don't know, because everyone is just so much smaller than her. So I don't know who it is actually going to be who like manages to actually take her out. Backstage segment, obviously the Core go backstage and they find Ezekiel Jackson. They were like asking like what was up with that, because obviously he left the ring like without them after his match, and then they actually turn on him. So so I was quite excited. Obviously the crowd were kind of, they turned on like, well, not turned on the Core, because obviously the Core were never fan favourites anyway, but they were like obviously really booing the Core and like cheering for Zeke when he got kind of any offense. I keep saying Zeke, Ezekiel Jackson. I mean, I just refer to him as Zeke in my notes because it's just easier. But yeah, so that's obviously going to be leading to some kind of, you know, Ezekiel Jackson versus the Core angle, and yeah. I never thought Ezekiel Jackson would be like a face. I mean, he might have been before, but since I've been watching it, he's never actually been like a face. So we'll see what happens with that one. Chavo Guerrero is actually on a show and actually involved in something. I was like, what? When he came out, and I was like, what is he doing? And they were like, oh, you know, you're very interested in this match, you know, aren't you? Because you're interested in all like the kind of lucha libre stuff. And I was like, what? Since when? Chavo Guerrero hasn't like been on like a show or involved in any angle for absolutely ages. But for some reason, he was on commentary during Cara versus Tyson Kidd. It's like they're always going to be that like coloured lighting now whenever Cara's in the ring, because I swear they don't do that for like anybody else, but it always seems to be like that purpley bluey kind of light when he's in the ring. Whatever, but he's awesome, really. He actually hasn't, like, to be fair, apart from when he almost bought his entrance like the first time when he like debuted, he's actually been like really good. And his like moves that he does are like really awesome. I love his finishing move. I don't know what the name of it, but it is really cool. So obviously Sin Cara got the win on Tyson Kidd, and obviously the main event was Randy Orton versus Christian for the World Heavyweight title. And obviously, as everybody knows, Randy Orton won, is the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now I read in a lot of forums, like obviously before I watched the show, they said that it was like a fantastic match. It was like one of the best matches on Smackdown for like years. I mean, yeah, granted, it was a good match, but I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I can't really say what I think has been the best match on Smackdown in the last few years, but it wasn't that great in my opinion. It was, yeah, decent. It was better than most matches that you get on SmackDown, but it wasn't like fantastic by like all means. But I have to say the finish for the match was absolutely amazing. Christian obviously went for the kill switch, but Randy Orton kind of got out of it, and then I think he was like going to like dive like off the top rope, or was it top, or was it the middle rope, and do like either like a kick or something or other, but Randy Orton like caught him like in midair and did like the RKO to get the win, which, you know, was really nice. But obviously the crowd there went absolutely mental, you know. They weren't like, you know, upset that Randy Orton got the victory. There was a few people that looked kind of shocked. But you know, the majority of people there obviously were ecstatic that Randy Orton won. So to be fair, I think it's, you know, just goes to show that not everybody, like who people like on the internet and stuff, they don't make up obviously the majority of the wrestling audience. So obviously, yes, a lot of people were disappointed that Christian lost the title this season, but then again, there's a lot of people out there who don't care and just want Randy Orton champion again because they love him. But whatever. You know, yes, to start, I was obviously gutted that Christian lost his title so soon. But to be fair, if it builds up a feud between them, or like, because if they keep on putting on good matches like that, and like Christian's actually getting like some kind of recognition, and even if he's at least in the title picture, then I'm happy, to be fair, because it's better than him being like, you know, nothing at all. So yeah, but obviously after like Randy Orton left, you know, Christian was kind of in the ring, like kind of going like, oh no, I can't believe I lost the title. But there was like, the crowd were quite silent, like a few people were kind of like cheering or whatever, but it was pretty silent, and I thought, eek, that was a bit embarrassing, but maybe they were supposed to be like that. I don't really know. So yeah, overall, it wasn't a bad episode of Smackdown, and like I said, after like the whole like Orton Christian like debacle, hopefully it will just, yeah, it will be a positive thing, and it will lead to Christian getting even more title shots and building his character, possibly turning Randy Orton possibly turning Randy Orton heel again, but I'm not really too sure what's going to happen with it. So yeah, I'm not really angry about it. I'm a bit disappointed for Christian, really, but on the whole, I'm not bothered if it means, you know, something. Yeah, I keep repeating myself, so I'm going to stop talking now. But yeah. So yeah, on another like random note, yeah, obviously this is like my geeky fact of the day. I like to read. I was like a dweeb when I was younger. I used to like spend hours reading. I wouldn't like watch TV. I wouldn't like play games. I would just sit in my room and read for hours because I was a geek. And it's still, I went for a phase like a few years ago where I just didn't read at all. And now I've like got back into it. I've literally just finished reading a Stephen King book, and it was like 1,400 pages long. It took me like 2 months to read. If you haven't read the book, some people might have seen the film, but the book, it's brilliant. So I would recommend like watching it. It will take you a long time to read it, but it is really good. So I thought, right, I can't hack another Stephen King book. I'm going to read something simple. So I decided to read Chris Jericho's book. So for those of you who haven't got it, go and get it. I've only read like a few chapters at the moment, but it's so funny. It's really good. And obviously, if you haven't read his first book, Around the World in Spandex, Lion Sale, this is a cheap plug for Jericho's book. But no, they are both really good. It's just so funny, and yeah, really good. So yeah, go buy this book. It's really awesome. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to end this video now because I've been rambling for too long. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!